I guess the first thing I want to talk about is what my passion is. My absolute passion is to work with the small and medium businesses, local businesses, if I can use that phrase, to help them become better and to more effectively grow their business. And the best way to do that, of course, is, I think most of you would realize, there's three key ways to increase the business that you've already got. And number one, which many businesses do, is to find new customers. The second one is to get the customers you've already got and get them to spend more. Or the third strategy can be the current customers you've got to get them to spend more on an average sale, to increase your average sale. But the problem is many businesses only focus on number one, that's finding new customers, where in fact exploiting the current customers you've got and getting growth out of them is much more profitable than number one. So whatever your current strategy is, I hope it's working for you. And as has already been mentioned in the discussions earlier today, now is the time to advertise. I mean, I'm based in New South Wales, and our lockdown has weakened considerably now, but you guys, particularly in Melbourne and Victoria, you're coming out the other side. And of course, there's going to be a lot of pent up opportunity for the retail market and for the service market as well. So I hope things go really well for you. But what's your plan? What's your advertising plan? What are you going to do with your business as it comes out the other side? Because one of my other passions is guiding businesses, just like yours, into effective advertising, whether you use mainstream media or whether you decide to use social media or a combination. I don't care what it is, but make sure you do it properly. Advertising has to be well thought out. And unfortunately, particularly when you're an owner operator, that often isn't the way it's done, because you're too busy running your business to spend time working on the business. But of course, if you've got a bigger business, there's opportunities there too. But when you put an advertising campaign together, you need to think about a couple of things. And here's some stuff I'd like you to think about. What kind of campaign am I going to run? Is it going to be a call to action, a pure retail campaign where you ask your customers to actually do something, to contact you by phone or go online? Or are you looking for more of a branding or awareness type of campaign? Why are you advertising? That's the other big question. What kind of campaign are you running and why are you doing it? How am I currently telling my story in the marketplace? Have I got an objective and an outcome? Have I got a plan for my advertising? What budget will I allocate? Do I even have a budget? And if I do have a budget, do I have enough money in that budget to do what my plan actually allocates? And how am I measuring the campaign? It's my experience after doing this for a lot of years that many businesses put an advertising campaign in place, but they don't actually put the measurement in place to work out whether it was successful and whether they got their ROI out of the whole thing. And it's one of the big ones. Make sure you've got a measurement plan. And by the way, is the measurement plan realistic? It's no use having some pie in the sky plan if you can't deliver on it. And finally, what medium will I use? What campaign will I put in place? And will it be mainstream media? Will it be social media? Or will it be a combination? And once you've answered some of those questions, then you're in a position to move forward. The final thing I want to very quickly touch on, and it was already touched on in the video that you saw earlier, and that's how to effectively use radio. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've been doing this for a couple of years, and Joby mentioned it in his introduction as well. I've worked in both commercial radio and also worked in community radio as well. And there's three principles that you need to follow, and they're very simple principles in theory, but in practice sometimes can get a little complicated. And the good news is the guys at Positive Media have got the skills to be able to help you to put these principles in place. First one is reach. Are you reaching the audience that matches your customer base? Is the medium that you're going to select, do they have the age group, the demographic of your customers or your potential customers? And do you have similar values to the medium you're going to use? And more importantly, do your customers have similar values as well? Reach. Second one, frequency. often used as the word repetition. In other words, can you get enough repetition of message so that when you are talking to the audience of a given radio station, they hear it enough times to actually do something? And the third one is the big one, and that's your message. What message are you putting into the marketplace? Is it creative? Is it explaining what your true point of difference is? What's your competitive advantage compared to what the others in that same vertical are doing? Reach, that's the audience. Make sure you get the audience that matches your customer base or potential customer base. Frequency, is there enough repetition? And finally, get the message right.